So because I knew that going in, it kind of helped me look for the job that I wanted to have. My kids are first, my family's first. Are you guys going to have a problem with that? How do you guys operate? I know what my limitations are. I know what's going to be my burnout.
So Jessica, one thing I want to bring up that your personality stands out in the crowd. That's why when I went to the AI CPA Global Women's Leadership Summit 2 years ago, I was like, she's amazing. I need to bring her to my podcast. And that now I'm talking to you with knowing you more about how you start your career and then who you are. It's just amazing how you get this far with like balancing everything around you with family, with kids, and then with a job, getting your accounting degree. And I know we talked so many tips and advice through this podcast. Before we end this podcast, I would love you to just summarize like what you think about three main skills that young professionals should have to advance their career in this accounting profession.
To advance yourself in this profession, 3 skills. Well, in all honesty, I think it would be any profession. It would help them, but listening, honesty, and discipline will help you make it in this career. And I'll elaborate. So listening, people are always giving advice. And as I aged, I've learned that there are professionals all over the place, and people will give you advice for free, whether it's you are sitting down at a bar at the hotel, talking to the person next to you, they're a professional, they're just giving you advice for free. They're not charging you their hourly rate for this advice. When you go to the Women Leadership Summit, granted, yes, we do pay for it, but when you're there having conversations with people, like the amplifier session, we shared stuff. No one paid for that. So people are always sharing advice, giving you their trials and tribulations, their success stories, their pitfalls. If you learn to listen, that'll take you a lot farther. And then with honesty, knowing who you are, knowing your limitations, being honest with yourself with those limitations, being honest with yourself about your boundaries, what's important to you, will help you lay out what you want and put yourself in a position to easily obtain it. So, example real quick, I knew that when I was doing my interview for KSM, which was my first remote job, luckily enough, part of that interview process was with an actual person from the department that I'd be working with. She came from a Big Four firm. She doesn't have any kids, but she was burnt out, which is why she transitioned to KSM. I understood that what she was running away from, the burnout from the Big Four, is stuff that I didn't even want to encompass or endure at all because I have family. I know that my kids are my top priority. I know that at the end of the day, there's not going to be too much convincing you can really do for me if I have my mindset that I'm going to be there present for my children. That's what I'm going to do. So because I knew that going in, it kind of helped me look for the job that I wanted to have. My kids are first. My family's first. Are you guys going to have a problem with that? How do you guys operate? I know what my limitations are. I know what's going to be my burnout. I know it's my no, because I am honest with myself. And because I'm honest with myself, I don't sit there and lie to other people. I let them know how I can show up. If you do get me to show up, I will be there 100%. You have me all the way through and through, but this is where I'm going to cut off and this is where I'm going to stop. So when you're honest with yourself, there's that. And then discipline, knowing that there are times where you do have to be 110%. Like I'm a tax accountant. I'm transitioning to be a tax accountant. I love that. So really February to April, I know that there's not too much of me that's going to be available for my family. My family understands that. I understand that. I'm disciplined enough to where it's like, okay, I'm going to get X, Y, and Z done today. No matter how long it takes me, I'm going to get it done today. And then that way I have whatever else I need to do on another day. So when you're disciplined, it helps you go ahead and crunch through things early on. Mind you, I was disciplined enough for my master's degree. I was able to juggle all of that stuff because I knew I had an end goal that I wanted and I was focused to getting it. But yes, honesty, listening, and discipline will help you completely project your career in a fast pace, because if you're listening to experienced professionals who are seasoned in their career, not just necessarily me, but that's how I got to where I am, and just spearheading my career even faster than what some people do when they're fresh out of college, is because I was listening to all of the advice and, like I said, the trials and tribulations that other professional women had gone through, not just women and men. But how did you guys maneuver? How did you get to where you are? What did you do? What did you do wrong? Great. How can I incorporate that into what I'm doing and what I'm trying to be? And then that way I don't have to make the same mistakes that everybody else did. I can circumvent their mistakes and just get to where they are successfully and not have those same problems. So that's the advice that I would give.
I love that. I love those advice. Listening, you can listen to this podcast here and listen to all different CPA stories, and you can pick up the tips and advice from each journey and apply it for yourself, because no career path is the same. They are all different, and just write your own career path. And I really like the discipline. Oh my God. Like being a mom, it's just so true that you have to be disciplined to, I need to get these things done, because a lot of time, like, I'm exhausted. I just want to sit and rest. I don't want to do anything else, but say, oh no, hang on. I need to finish a lot of laundry. I need to fold that lot of laundry after that. And I need to put the clothes away after I finish folding. So yeah, discipline is just amazing. Before we end, I actually have another question for you, Jessica. You mentioned that you love being around people and you work remotely. How do you fulfill that being around people with working remotely? How you balance that? Because I want to navigate a little bit about networking that we forgot to mention about during this podcast, that networking is so important, and you did a great job at the Leadership Summit. That's why I want to hear that from you, to fulfill that working remotely and also building the network.
So yes, it's a little bit harder with, I guess, job aspect of it, because like my new employer, more people are local in office. And like I said, that's in New Jersey than me. I'm in Illinois. So I definitely still reach out to my coworkers and my bosses, but that still doesn't do enough. So that's why I like attending the Women's Leadership Summit. And I do stuff with the Illinois CPA Society to help acquire more connections. But I take it a step further. I just don't collect people's names. I try to be meaningful and actually still just reach out to people. And a lot of times I don't look at my connections or my networking that I'm doing as just like business opportunities or things of that sort. I literally look at it as like I'm creating a friend. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a friend that like you're going to the bar with or you're going out to the movies with. It's just someone that I care about their well-being. Like I'm going to be sad whenever they pass away. It's going to impact my life, that type of friend. So I speak up whenever there's opportunities for me to speak up, speak out. I definitely do that. I say hi to people. I try to sit at, tables where somebody's sitting by themselves, or I start sitting by myself to hopefully encourage other people to sit down. And then I, am talking to those individuals, because my network is so vast now. I never have a dull moment, never have a dull day. I have friends in almost every state there is. And I'm now, expanding that to people outside of the United States, which is even more better for when I actually want to start traveling. I can reach out and get some recommendations and things of that sort. But I really utilize my network to keeping me in my happy place of interacting with people. And I love the fact that with my job, I travel. So because if that job wants me to come into the office, I have to fly to New Jersey. I'm sitting on the airplane. I'm sitting at the airport. I'm talking to those people that are around me. I go to restaurants. Most likely I'm eating by myself, or I'm entertaining myself at whatever bar or restaurant that's at the hotel. I'm talking to the people that are there, and I'm making new connections, meeting new friends. And that's how I am getting by in my life of interacting with people, because still at the end of the day, I'm not going to get the same interactions as I was as a server or bartender. I'm not seeing that many different bodies as I was working in a restaurant, but having my network, having my connections, having the events that I go to with the AICPA or the Illinois CPA Society helps me meet some really amazing women like yourself. And from there, we'll connect on LinkedIn, and then that's how our relationship just evolves. And it doesn't move like a boulder rolling down a hill. It's not that fast. It's very slow. It's almost like you're pushing the boulder up a hill. Like, it's work. It takes effort. It definitely takes, dedication to it, because it's like, okay, well, I met Rosey. Okay, well, let's reach out to Rosey. Let's see how Rosey's doing. Okay, Rosey, I didn't see you. What happened? Oh, you had a baby. That's awesome news. But when you make those connections and you genuinely are like, this person's awesome, you want to reach out to them more and interact with them. So if you have a plethora of people that you don't talk to on a regular basis, you can still stay fulfilled, because it's like, okay, well, this month I'm going to reach out to all of my AICPA women. Next month I'm going to reach out to people that I haven't talked to in a while on LinkedIn. So if you're making yourself, having some type of regular reach out or like touch point with your connections, that makes it more meaningful, and people are thinking about you a lot more when you are reaching out and making it more than just, like I said, collecting numbers, and making it more about actual connections with people.
Wow, I love that. And I love the fact that you also make connections wherever you go, not just at the networking event. And I just want to add one little thing, that when people listening to this podcast, when you attend any networking events or any conference, any summit, make sure you leverage the opportunity to make yourself out there, to bring yourself out there, to speak up. People remember you, recognize you, and take advantage of the moment. Don't just go to those leadership summits or like networking events and just look at your phone, or like, oh, I'm just be here because the firm pays money for me to be here. Take that opportunity, network with people around you, raise your hand to ask a question to the speaker, so people will remember your face. I still remember at that leadership summit, it's just so funny, the last section that you remember, I stood on the chair and then I raised my hand, and then so people can see my face, and I was like, because one of the advice in that leadership summit that you need to make yourself seen, to be seen. So I was like, because I said all the way at the end of the room, if I just asked my question and then stood at the end of the room, people would not see me. So I was like, walk all the way to the front. And if I just stood there, I was so sure people would not be able to see my face. So I stood up on the chair. Listeners, I don't recommend you to do that. To stand on the chair or stand on the table is probably not the best approach. But I did that because I want to apply what we listened from the prior sections. So I stood up, and before I even asked a question, I look around the room after I stood on the chair and introduced myself. My name is Rosey. And so,
but that was great though, because granted, we were in other sessions together, so I already knew you from speaking out, at least not necessarily know you, but like, I was like, okay, who is this young lady? Because she's not scared to speak up. But when you stood on the chair, I'm like, oh, I like her. She wants to be seen. And mind you, I am bold and I am out there, but like, I am not that brave to stand on a chair. So the fact that you had that courage to do it, it's like, yeah, I like her. But still, even with that, like because a lot of people who attend those events, they're not extroverts. They don't want to just get out there and meet people and be vocal and seen. And there's so many at the AICPA Women's Global Women's Leadership Summit. There are so many women that are there that attend, and men. So it might seem like a lot, but like, if you keep in mind that not every person you're going to meet is your person, and that's okay. Because sometimes, okay, Rosey and I might not click, might not hit it off, but the fact that she knows me, I know her. If I come across somebody that is more aligned with Rosey and what she's trying to do and trying to accomplish, I can say, hey, Rosey, I want to introduce you to this person. I just met them. They seem like they'll be right in line with you. And it's okay. Rosey and I cannot be people. She cannot be my person. She doesn't need to be in my network fully. But I at least know her and I can introduce her to other people and she can introduce me to other people. So don't have the mindset that you have to go there with making connections for yourself. No, you can be a connector. And it's okay if not everybody clicks for you. It's okay if not everybody is in what you're trying to do. That is perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But yes, if you go to anything, just at least meet 3 people. That should be your goal, is to leave with 3 new names, contact information, and make it about that and try to see where that takes you. But yes, there's so much that comes from networking. You can project your career a lot faster. You can be seen in places where you never know who is looking. Because like me speaking up at the AI CPA Summit either times, because that was my second one, was the one in Bellevue. I never have intentions of, I'm going to say something and it's going to lead me to have this opportunity. I had no clue that me speaking up and just sharing my 2 cents would lead you to want to interview me for your podcast. And even at that, when I went to the one in Nashville this year, there was a lady there that she was like, I remember meeting you in Arizona. And that was my first one. That was the year before the one we met. And because of that, there's certain women now who are looking for me every single year that I go. Jessica, are you here? Hi, Jessica. I don't know if you remember me, but it's like, okay. And that was my goal this year. Like, I'm going to make my connections more meaningful moving forward. I don't want to just have a collecting of names. I don't want a list of followers on LinkedIn. I want to have a relationship with most of these people on my LinkedIn account, most of the people in my phone. I just don't want them sitting in my contact list. Am I actually reaching out to them? Let them know that, hey, I'm thinking of you. I don't need anything. I don't need a business connect. I don't need a follow. I don't need to subscribe. I just want to make sure that you're okay. I'm thinking of you and you're an amazing person. And a lot of times that puts smiles on people's faces because you never know what they're going through. And a lot of times for me, it's always, I manage to send the message right on time because they're going through something and they're like, Jessica, I really needed that. Thank you. And it's like, hey, that's all I'm here for. That's all I want to do. But when you do that, you're on people's mind, and that's going to help you in your life and in your career moving forward.
Yeah, that's funny that you brought it up because I love keeping in touch with people. And normally I'm the one who message people and then ask how they doing and stay in touch. So recently I know some people want to stay in touch with me and they send me the message and I was like, wow, it feels amazing to receive the message about how you doing because normally I'm always the one who sent out the message. And I was like, that's how people feel. So I should keep doing it.
Yes, it happened to me. Like when you reached out to me, I was just like, oh, Rosey remembers
Yes, of course I
me.
do.
Here, I love it. But then, like, yeah, I finally had, and I do it even with my family. Yep, there goes my lighting. I don't know what happened with that. But I did it with my family, and I recently had one of my like great aunts reach out, and she was just like, "I just want to tell you that I was thinking of you, and I love you." And I was just like,
I know,
"Does
right?
that make you feel? I love it. I'm gonna keep doing this. I'm gonna stay on it." And like I keep trying to tell everyone else now, like, "Hey, just reach out. Pick a random day. Whenever you think of somebody random in your phone, text them, say hi, but go through your phone and reach out to everybody else that you haven't talked to and just say, hey, I'm thinking of you. Just wanted to make sure you know it. Hi, how's your day?" And that's all you need to do.
That's what you need to do. That's it. That's just that simple and could lead you to a surprise that you never know. Unexpected surprise. But it's amazing conversation with you, Jessica. I can just keep talking to you all day long. So it's just so much fun. But thank you so much for being on my podcast again and share with me your CPA journey as well as some tips and advice to young professionals as well. And you never know. Let's keep in touch. Maybe
Yes.
we will we will meet in person one day.
Oh, yes, I'm definitely looking forward to it. And I am going to keep in touch with you, Rosey. Thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. And good luck for all of your subscribers that you have with their career paths.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome.